In a world where jealousy is seen as proof of love or not feeling threatened by your partner's interactions, is dismissed as not caring enough, and where a complete absence of jealousy is seen as either emotional detachment or a secret sign of your own infidelity, there's a huge group of people who genuinely don't feel jealous in relationships. Not because they're repressing it, not because they don't love deeply, but because their minds simply don't generate that possessive anxiety others call jealousy when their partner talks to attractive people as close friendships or maintains an independent life. They watch partners obsessively check phones, friends create rules about opposite-sex friendships, couples fighting over Instagram likes, and they feel nothing but confusion. Why would anyone want to control another person's autonomy or feel threatened by their partner's other connections? If you're watching this, you're either one of these people feeling desperately validated that your lack of jealousy doesn't mean you don't care, or you read someone who feels jealousy and sees its absence as a red flag that someone isn't truly invested. But here is the raw truth that nobody wants to acknowledge. Because it threatens romantic stories built on possession and insecurity, people who don't feel jealous aren't emotionally detached, cheating, or incapable of deep love. They represent specific psychological profiles that reveal how certain minds process attachment, security, and what real intimacy actually requires, in ways that fundamentally contradict the cultural idea that jealousy is a natural part of romantic love. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will completely shatter assumptions about love, possession, and the dangerous belief that jealousy proves emotional investment. You might discover profoundly uncomfortable truths about whether your own jealousy is protecting your relationship or revealing a deep insecurity you've been taught to call love. Let me ask you something that will make jealous people extremely defensive. How much of what you call protective jealousy is actually trust in your partner versus a lack of trust disguised as caring? When you feel jealous, is it because your partner has actually violated boundaries, or is it triggered by your own insecurity, fear of abandonment, and a need to control their autonomy to feel safe? And here's the question that might make you re-examine your entire relationship. If jealousy supposedly shows you care, why do the most secure, healthy, long-lasting relationships often have partners who rarely or never experience it, while the most toxic, volatile relationships are defined by intense jealousy that everyone mistakes for passion? These questions get to the raw core of understanding why some people don't feel jealous. And the answers expose something profound about security, trust, autonomy, and the difference between possessive love and authentic intimacy. To understand why some people don't feel jealous, we first need to recognize the enormous cultural messaging that positions jealousy as not just normal, but necessary and even romantic. Jealousy has been romanticized in literature, film, and music as proof of passionate love, as a sign you care deeply, as a natural response to a threat. We've normalized the idea that if you're not at least a little jealous, you must not really care. Pop culture constantly shows jealous scenes as romantic, possessive behavior as devotion, and controlling tendencies as protective love. People brag about their jealous partners as evidence of being desired and valued. The phrase, "I'm the jealous type," is stated proudly, like a personality trait rather than an emotional dysfunction. This creates what we might call jealousy normalization, where experiencing and expressing jealousy is treated as healthy, while the absence of it is suspicious. Partners who aren't jealous are accused of not caring enough, of being emotionally unavailable, of probably cheating themselves, of not being normal. Even some therapists express concern about a lack of jealousy, treating it as an attachment issue rather than a sign of security. There's this underlying assumption that healthy romantic love must include territorial feelings and possessive impulses, and if you don't have them, something must be wrong with you. But here's where we need to get brutally honest. And this is the raw truth that will make jealous people furious. Jealousy is not love. It's insecurity and fear dressed up as care. And its absence doesn't indicate a lack of love, but rather the presence of security, trust, and genuine respect for a partner's autonomy. Some people have secure attachment styles and a robust self-concept that don't require constant reassurance through their partner's restricted behavior. Some people understand that real intimacy requires freedom, not control. Some people trust their partners as autonomous beings capable of having other connections without threatening the relationship. And these people aren't emotionally deficient. They're actually operating from a psychologically healthier foundation than those whose love is tangled with possessive anxiety. This absence of jealousy emerges from 5 distinct psychological traits. First, a secure attachment style and internal self-worth. People who don't feel jealous typically have a secure attachment style, characterized by comfort with intimacy combined with comfort with independence. Their sense of self-worth is internal, not dependent on their partner's behavior or attention. They don't need constant reassurance that they're valued because their self-concept is stable. When their partner talks to an attractive person or has a close friendship, it doesn't trigger a fear of abandonment or inadequacy, because their worth isn't contingent on being their partner's only source of connection. Research on attachment theory shows that securely attached individuals have an internalized belief that they are worthy of love and that relationships are generally stable and trustworthy. This internal security means they don't interpret their partner's other connections as threats. Second, trust as a foundation and respect for partner autonomy. The second trait is having genuine trust as the relationship's foundation and a deep respect for a partner's autonomy. Jealous people often claim they trust their partner, but not others. But that doesn't make sense. If you truly trust your partner, you trust them to maintain boundaries regardless of who approaches them. People who don't feel jealous have internalized that their partner is an autonomous person with their own judgment, not a passive victim requiring protection. They trust their partner to communicate if boundaries are crossed and to maintain their integrity without surveillance or control. More fundamentally, they recognize that trying to control a partner through jealousy-driven restrictions is the opposite of a real relationship. You can't claim to love someone and treat them as property that needs guarding. Real love requires allowing your partner full autonomy. Third, a non-possessive love model and an abundance mentality. The third trait is operating from a non-possessive model of love, where a partner's other connections are seen as enriching rather than threatening. While traditional models treat love as a finite resource that gets diminished when shared, people without jealousy often have an abundance mentality, where love and connection aren't a zero-sum game. Their partner having close friendships or a rich independent life doesn't deplete what's in the relationship. It enriches their partner as a person, which benefits the relationship. They don't need to be their partner's everything. They know that's impossible and unhealthy. They reject ownership and possession as components of love. They don't view their partner as theirs to possess. They see the relationship as a mutual, ongoing choice between two autonomous people. Fourth, differentiation and maintaining an independent identity. The fourth trait is a high level of differentiation, which means maintaining a strong sense of self within the relationship rather than merging your identity with your partner. People with low differentiation tend to become enmeshed, losing the boundaries between self and partner, and they experience their partner's independent activities as threatening. But people who don't feel jealous maintain clear self-other boundaries. They have robust independent identities, interests, and friendships that exist separately from the relationship. Their partner's separate experiences don't threaten their sense of self because their self is independently stable. Research shows this is crucial for healthy relationships. The absence of jealousy often indicates healthy differentiation, where both partners maintain autonomous selves while choosing intimate connection. Fifth, a realistic understanding of relationship dynamics. The fifth trait is having a realistic, almost philosophical understanding of relationships and infidelity that makes jealousy seem pointless. These individuals recognize several truths that jealous people avoid. First, if a partner wants to cheat, jealousy and restrictions won't stop them. It will only make them sneakier. Second, if a partner is faithful, it's because they choose to be, not because jealousy prevented the opportunity. And third, being cheated on while painful is information that the relationship wasn't right and the person revealed their character. They've done a cost-benefit analysis and concluded jealousy. Costs in diminished trust and restricted autonomy far exceed any protective benefits. Their lack of jealousy comes from accepting the reality of human nature rather than demanding an impossible exclusivity that breeds resentment and deception. When you combine these traits, secure attachment with internal self-worth, genuine trust with autonomy, respect, a non-possessive love model with an abundance mentality, high differentiation with an independent identity, and a realistic understanding of relationships, you get psychological profiles where a lack of jealousy is not a red flag but a green flag. It indicates emotional maturity, security, and a capacity for healthy intimacy. Here's what our jealousy-obsessed culture desperately doesn't want to acknowledge. Jealousy is not proof of love. It's proof of insecurity and fear. And its absence indicates a stronger, more secure foundation than its presence. The truly raw truth is that we've romanticized what is essentially a toxic relationship pattern. Jealousy is not protective. It's controlling. It's not caring. It's possessive. It's not passion. It's fear. The healthiest, longest-lasting relationships consistently show low jealousy because partners feel secure enough not to need constant reassurance and respect each other enough to allow full autonomy. Meanwhile, relationships characterized by intense jealousy almost always end badly, either in a breakup fueled by constant conflict and mistrust, or in a toxic codependent pattern where control is mistaken for commitment. Research consistently shows a negative correlation between jealousy and relationship quality. The more jealous partners are, the less satisfied both people tend to be. People without jealousy aren't missing an essential relationship component. They've transcended a dysfunctional pattern that others mistake for love. So, what does this mean for you? If you experience jealousy, that's understandable given our cultural conditioning. But recognize it as your insecurity to work on, not your partner's behavior to restrict. Jealousy is information about your internal state, not proof of love or justified protection. Consider whether your jealousy actually protects your relationship or slowly destroys it through control and mistrust. If you're someone who doesn't feel jealous, I hope this provides profound validation. You're not emotionally unavailable or incapable of deep love. Your lack of jealousy indicates secure attachment, healthy boundaries, and a mature understanding of intimacy. You don't need to manufacture jealousy to prove you care. Your capacity for loving without possessing is a strength, not a deficiency. The deeper truth is that love and jealousy are not only separate, but often opposed. Real love trusts, respects autonomy, and allows freedom. Jealousy controls, restricts, and demands possession. You can have deep, passionate love without jealousy. In fact, the deepest love often exists precisely where jealousy doesn't. Now I want to hear from you. Do you experience jealousy and are now questioning whether it's healthy? Or do you not feel jealous but face accusations of not caring? This is a judgment-free space for honest reflection. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this challenged your understanding of love, hit that like button and subscribe for more raw truths about relationships. Next week, we'll explore the raw truth about people who don't want to be remembered after death. You won't want to miss it. Remember, healthy love is built on trust and freedom, not jealousy and control. That's the only relationship worth having. Thank you for watching. See you next week.